Hello folks, and welcome to video number 4 of the Akai GX-R88. Jiminy Christmas. Video number 4? Good grief. How much longer is this deck gonna fight me like this? Anyway, to summarize the past 3 videos, this deck has had a lot of problems. Now, so far what we've done is a mostly complete transport service. I didn't have all the rubber parts I needed at the time, which is what we're doing on this video, mostly, is trying to get the transport working properly. But we also found out in the last video that there's an issue with the recording amplifier in this as well. First, it wouldn't take any input at all from the right channel. I think it was the right channel. Could have been the left channel. But I think the left channel is the one that's used for the auto calibration, and that was working, so it's probably the right channel. Anyway, there was no signal coming into the record amplifier from the right channel. Turned out to be the cable going down to the audio board. That got fixed, and then I found out that it's got bias oscillator issues as well. So that's the other thing we're going to fix today, is the bias oscillator, I hope. I will caution you, I will make only one attempt at fixing the record amplifier and bias oscillator, and if it doesn't work, I'm done with it. At that point, it's not worth my time anymore, because this was one of my cheapest 3-head decks. It's $122 this one cost me, so, or something around that, I don't know. Anyhow, the bias oscillator issues appear to be twofold. One, it's undervolting the bias oscillator in the first place and not giving the proper bias currents to the various various cassette types. Plus, the right channel has an additional extra amount of BS going on, because it turns out that the entire bias signal isn't even reaching the record heads on that channel, so hopefully we'll deal with that too. I managed to track down that issue to the coupling capacitors between the bias oscillator and the heads, so we'll change both of those today. Hopefully that gets it working. And as for the under-biasing issue, I think there's a dead capacitor in there. I'm hoping that's the problem. If it's not, it could be the dual op-amp package that's driving that stuff, but I've got replacements for that too, should I not find any other issues. But man, these Akai decks, they just fight you so hard. But this is good for experience. At least that's what I'm telling myself. In fact, I'm kind of thinking about getting another Akai just for practice before I start working on this stuff for other people, because this is the kind of stuff I have to know in order to do these kinds of repairs properly. But before we really get into this, I just want to give a quick thank you to Hi-Fi Rules for pointing out and reminding me that these things are extremely sensitive to pinch roller engagement. If you've got the adjustment just a little bit off, the pinch roller pressure will be either too high or too low, and it just won't work right. And I also want to thank LT Tape Head Service again, because he's an awesome guy, and he's the one that clued me into what was going on with the chattering from the mode belt on this. Basically, the one in here is too tight. At least that's the going theory now. I never even considered that till he mentioned it, so thank you kindly, sir. Anyhow, to start off this video, we're going to have to pop the door off as gently as possible, because I've still only got this one clip holding the door on. And we're going to see just how good the pinch roller engagement is, because this could explain the wound flutter issues by itself. As you can hear, it's not chattering very much right now. It is a little bit, but not too much. Now I'm going to grab this tape, the cutout tape. This deck should be able to handle this tape. And we're just going to see if the pinch rollers engage when playback is called for. So let's get in here and see. All right, here we go. It's a little bit slack there, isn't it? Okay, what now? That was fast forward. What is the deal? Oh, for Pete's sake, why won't this thing stop fighting? Anyway, let's go for play and see what happens. Well, pinch rollers are engaged. I don't know what the heck is going on with this now. I bet you my temporary reel belt is the problem there. So let's get inside this thing and see. Okay, here's the reel drive right here. Let's see what happens when we try to do stuff. Play. Oh, now it's going to work. Weird. I'll power it off and then back on. We'll see what happens. For Pete's sake, now it wants to work. What the heck is going on with this deck? I'm starting to seriously think about relegating this thing to parts duty, because these aren't very common in Japan, but they are common enough that they come up every once in a while. And in fact, there's one right now in the listings. I do not understand this behavior. Let me get an audio tape and we'll see what that does. Works perfectly, of course. Why wouldn't it work perfectly? Just because I'm trying to find a problem here. Anyway, we'll deal with this transport crap later. Right now I want to get into this audio board and see if I can figure out what the deal is with the record amplifier and bias oscillator. I'm probably going to recap this whole board too while I'm at it, because I'm getting sick of working on this thing. Especially now that I have a TAC R8890X coming. That deck, if I can get that one working properly, means I no longer need this one. I think I found the cause of the issue with the reel motor. That has self-destructed, so I'm going to have to fix this trace all the way back to this stupid connector, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. Probably jumper wires. I think that's what's going on with this now, but I'll have to check this one on the other side too, because that's the other one I was using for a little way to hold the board in place. So I will remember to check those. But I'm about to pull the upper board off now, and we'll see where we get with this. I'll report back on what I find. Okay, folks, I got the recap done. Here's all the good ones, including the two bias coupling capacitors, which measured perfectly good out of circuit, because of course they did. Measured them at 100 kilohertz, and they're right on the money. So I don't know what's going on with the bias oscillator, except I likely haven't found the problem yet. These over here are the ones that tested either high ESR or slightly out of spec, but I don't think any of these are the problem, because none of them were around the bias oscillator. So I am just having the best time here trying to figure out why this thing isn't recording properly. So I guess my next step is to probably swap in one of the new op amps into the bias oscillator and start checking transistors. I don't know what else to do here. So let me get to that, and I will let you know what I find, if I find anything. I'm starting to think that this deck is cursed, and will never record again, so let me see if I can find something. Okay, folks. I have not found the problem, but I have found an anomaly that I'm not sure about. I'll tell you about what I did so far. I checked all of the transistors over here, 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 and here, here, here. All of those are good. I got the beta gain off all of those, and they're all nothing out of the ordinary. From there, I went to back to capacitors again, and I changed C9 on both sides because this is where the anomaly is. These are supposed to be 910 nanofarads, or picofarads. Yes, picofarads. They're supposed to be 910 picofarads. Yes, brain. Let's remember our numbers. These are 1000 nanofarad WEMA caps in there now, but here's the original ones right here. The anomaly is when in circuit, the bad channel was 2 nanofarads and the good channel was 4 nanofarads. So I pulled these two out and tested them. They're both good. So those are not the problem, but something is the problem. Something is causing the cablamitance on this side to be lower than this side, and I have to figure out what that is now. And I don't know what that is yet, but I will keep doing some testing. There's a couple more capacitors that are in series with those, I think. Let me move out of the way. This here is C9, and you can see there's a resistor. I might check that too. And then there's this capacitor back here. I'm going to test those next. But very strange. I don't know what else in this circuit would cause that value to be off, because there's nothing in parallel with that capacitor. So what was my little bridge tweezers measuring there? I don't know, unless it's this resistor down here. That's a problem. I'll measure that one too, but I don't think it's resistors. I think it's capacitors now, because I've checked literally every single one of these transistors down here. And also every one of these transistors back before the dual op amps. So I don't know what's going on, but I am closing in on it. By the way, I mentioned in the previous video that I was going to buy all these new capacitors for it to change them. Well, I couldn't find those values anywhere, so I don't have those capacitors, but hopefully I can narrow down the problem child here and figure out what's going on. So I'll test this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one out of circuit, and then we'll see if I can find it. If it's none of those, then, well, maybe it's that thing right there. That's the coil, and if that's bad, there's no fixing it, because I will not be able to replace that. Anyhow, I will report back once I've got the results. Those are the HFE values for the all the transistors, every single last one of them on that channel, so I don't think there's anything bad there. Okay, I am making progress. Not much progress, but I am making progress. I've been testing these two capacitors back and forth with various components disconnected, and I have narrowed down the problem significantly. First thing I tried was I tried deleting this resistor here and this one here. No change. I still had the uneven readings with the tweezers, which, by the way, is weird, because I've checked these readings with the new LCR meter as well, and it's not picking up what the tweezers are picking up. So anyhow, from there I went on to these two capacitors right here. These two, they're the ones in series. They both tested good. Same issue with them removed, or rather, no, not the same issue. With these removed, I got equal values on these two capacitors. So from there, I went and I removed, what is it, R40, I think. Yes, R40. I lifted one leg of R40 on each side, and that's when things got weird. Or no. I'm all confused now. R40 is the last thing I checked. Yes, I pulled R40, and yes, that's when things got weird, because there was a severe imbalance in the readings. So that tells me the problem is in the circuit before R40, and I'll show you over here where that leads me to think the problem is. It's in this circle somewhere, because R40 is right here. And with that disconnected, if the problem were over here, then removing this should have, well, I don't know. And yes, removing this should have equalized the readings between C9B and C9A. And that did not happen. So the issue is behind C11. It's down here in this circuit. So I'm going to have to pull all these capacitors and see which one's bad. And if they're not bad, then it's a transistor. So wish me luck. I've got a lot of crap to do yet. I got to pull each or one side of each capacitor, I guess, and then see where the problem is. Okay, so here's what I found out. It's nothing inside the circle. I lifted each leg of these capacitors here and checked them. They're all good. I lifted one leg of each resistor, had the same thing going on, and then I realized that I had not isolated this resistor from the equation. So I just did that, and that fixed the problem over by this capacitor here. They're now reading identically. So the problem is downstream from there. It's either this electrolytic, unlikely because it's brand new. It's either this one, which is the one I changed, or I don't know what else. There's something else going on here. The capacitor I put in here is not the same as what's in there, or is what was supposed to be in there. It should be 0.036 or 0036, and I've got 0033 in there, but I can't see my new capacitor being the problem. What I can see is this capacitor being a problem. That one right there inside the coil. And if that's the problem, God help us, because I don't think there's any fixing that. But I will try to take this out of the equation, and I will measure, and we'll see what that gives me. But I'm thinking this deck is unfixable when it comes to the recording side. I haven't even gotten into the bias oscillator yet and figured out what the heck is going on with the underbiasing yet, but if this is the problem, I don't know what else to do here. So let me just check these two coils and we'll find out what's going on here. Well, folks, the diagnosis is complete. It's the coil. I'm getting far different readings for millihenries than this one, and you can actually see the capacitor that's in this thing. See if I can show you. It's that little blue thing in the middle. So I think what's going on here is the capacitor is making a connection, but the coil is not. So I don't think I can fix this, but if the break is near the pins, maybe there's something I can do, maybe not, but very likely this deck will never record again. So at least we know what the problem is now. This is the only possible explanation because I'm getting wildly different readings on these two coils. So, and I don't have a replacement for these, so what are you going to do? Anyhow, let me see if I can find a way to fix this and I'll report back. Okay, folks, I have come up with a working solution, possibly. Don't hold your breath that this is going to work. Here's the old coil here with its internalized capacitor. I pulled both of the bias cut filters out of the JVC TDX-501 parts deck, and these do not have the capacitors in them, but JVC was using these in parallel. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do, at least on the bad channel, is swap one of these in with the accompanying capacitor, And I'm not exactly sure whether or not I want to try that with the left channel or not, because that one's currently working. But if I do both channels with the JVC parts, then both channels will have the same parts. Maybe that's the way to go with this. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to swap both channels over. I will measure, make sure these are all good, and we'll see what happens. Okay, there they are. There's the JVC coils in the Akai tape deck, and the capacitors are underneath, right yonder. So I have a high degree of confidence that this will work now. I measured back here where I was getting the abnormal readings before, and now I'm getting the same readings on both channels. So I'm pretty sure I've fixed this problem, but how good it will sound, I don't know. It depends on what the rest of the circuit design was in the JVC compared to this deck. But now I have to get back here and I have to figure out what's going on with this circuit yet. So that's going to be on Saturday. It's Thursday today. This is what I will be working on while you guys are watching my Sony video. Okay, folks, so the JVC parts aren't going to work after all. I had the good sense to check the service manual, and apparently JVC decided to be different in the TDX-501 and use an 81 kHz bias oscillator frequency. So those parts aren't going to work, because we have to filter out 105 kHz instead. But you know what does use the right parts? This guy right here, my parts TC-K666ES. So that's what these parts are, and they're all working. So I will fire this up now, and I'll show you what these measure. I have to do this in the other hand, because I'm kind of holding the camera right now. So let's see if we can do this. One-handed. Okay, there you go. There's the reading. And as for the capacitors, 77 picofarads. So we want to get the Akai working, so we cannot use the parts from the TDX-501, unfortunately. But thankfully these are all good, so let me swap them in. Okay, so before we get to doing the transport stuff this machine still needs, just wanted to show you the top board is now back in the machine, and I think everything's good. You'll notice that there's another capacitor over here now. This is in parallel with my 3300 picofarad part that's in there. It's a 270 picofarad, so it's the idea here is to make this channel match the other channel, which has a 3600 picofarad original factory part in it. So that's what I was aiming to do there, but I think this will record. But just wanted to mention something as sort of a follow-up to the Sony TC-K666ES. You'll remember that this has been seen inside this deck recently. It was misthreaded, but I had it in there just to see if the pinch rollers would engage. It doesn't need to be threaded properly for that. And I just wanted to mention, this is the tape I use to make sure a dual capstan closed loop system deck like this one is properly working. When these types of decks are properly working, there is no trouble playing this tape. And that is the case with the TC-K666ES as well. It handles this tape just fine. It didn't eat this one. It didn't even try to eat this one. So I'm thinking the problem with the tape I used in the recording test for that deck is a couple of things. One, the take-up reel didn't start. That's a problem. Two, possibly the pinch roller was bad on the take-up side. That's been ruled out now. But one thing I did want to mention, I noticed is, I think I mentioned this also in that video, is that the tape, where the leader meets the actual tape, it kicked out a little bit as it was going over the erase head. And then it settled back down again. So that tape was not manufactured properly. So I think it's a combination of things, but I'm not ready to call the TC-K666ES out of alignment just yet. I will verify that it's in alignment in the next video on that deck, but I don't think it's out of alignment. I just don't think so, because it plays this tape. Any deck that has any tape path issues whatsoever, this tape catches. And it said the 222 ES was fine, and it says this deck is fine as well, but this deck still has issues also, so who knows. Okay, folks, I think what we're going to do on the transport side of this is maybe deal with the belt situation first, and then the pinch rollers after, and the idler after as well. I've decided I am going to replace these pinch rollers, both of them. And more than that, I've decided I'm going to take these entire pinch roller blocks off to re-grease as well, because I don't want to get back in here, and I'm not exactly sure if I want to leave these alone anymore. But before we do that, I noticed this is kind of a cool way that this deck works. Basically, when it's playing each side, it engages the supply guide for the side it's playing and disengages the take-up side guide for the side it's playing. It's kind of ingenious the way they've got this. There's this little sliding bar here that pushes on these guide pins, and that's what engages and disengages those. So kind of interesting. I just thought I'd mention it, but I'm a little worried about replacing these pinch rollers because of the way these are mounted. There's these hard black washers on there that retain the things in there, but there's also these springs underneath, and I can just see these disappearing into the ether if I try to take these off. So I hope that doesn't happen, but I'm still going to get in there anyway because I want new pinch rollers in this. As few options as I can allow it to have for eating tapes. So we're going to have to get into this backside of the transport yet again. Destroy a couple more perfectly decent zip ties while we're at it. Now you guys have seen this part before, so I won't show it on camera. So let me get this apart, and we'll pick up once I've got the thing down to the belts here. If you want to see how to get into this part, just watch video number 2 on this deck. All that's in there. Okay, so I'm getting ready to pull this thing apart again so that we can do things back here again. And I just wanted to mention I've got a jumper wire installed here for the damage trace now, which, by the way, if I haven't put it in the video yet, it's this damage trace is for the right reel rotation sensor, so that's why it was stuttering like that. Has to be the reason for that. Can't be any other reason that I can think of. So did I get this off or did I not get this off? I'm not sure. Possibly I should have left the door on so I could easier do this, but whatever. Buy an Akai, I said. It'll be fun, I said. No, I didn't say that because I didn't ever think that. Akai decks are fiddly. Always fiddly. They love to fight. So, okay, now we can get our temporary reel drive belt off of here. And let's see if the replacement is going to work. Here's the replacement from Deck Tech. 22.5 millimeter diameter by 1.5 millimeters. So this should work. Will it? Well, we're about to find out. I'm going to leave this out somewhere in case I have to put it back in, though. So let me get this belt out. There it is. There's the new one. I guess we'll compare it to the old, or to the temporary one. Might as well. We are here. It should be slightly bigger than this one, which it is. But the important thing is it's the right thickness. It's 1.5 millimeters square. At least it should be. Let's just check. Yeah, 1.3, 1.5. Well, there we go, 1.4. That's 1.5 there. And internal circumference would be 33 or 34 times 2, which is what, brain? Come on. You know this. 72, I think? No. 68. Anyhow, it should work. Let's get it on there and see. Feels pretty tight. We'll find out the hard way whether or not it auto reverses properly with this belt. I think it's going to work. I'm almost halfway convinced of that. Okay, now we got to do this mode belt. This is a fix your audio belt, so I was really hoping it would work out, but apparently it is too tight. So let's find out what we got here. This belt is 1.4 millimeters by maybe 120, 122. So we need to find something that's a little bit looser than this. So I hope I've got something. I'll set that to the side for now. First off, I will check this belt here. This is the Akai belt kit I got from that Polish supplier that had the brass core pinch rollers. That didn't work out. So this one is tighter than the one that just came off. So I'm going to need to find something looser. So I'm going to go to my 1.5 millimeter Chinese belts, because apparently that is the right size. No, self, those are 1.2. Where's your 1.5s? Here's our 1.5s. So hopefully this will get it to stop the chattering, if I can find something. If people would just send me the 1.5s I order, that would be great. But so far, the ones I got from AliExpress are still missing in action. And well, that one's looser. That one's 63.6. Let's try this one. I don't want to go too much looser than this. So yes, I guess we'll try that and we'll see what happens here. So that is that. And for the capstan belt, I will go with the FRSP 8.97 that I took out for the Sony deck from last week, because it's convenient. It's right here. So let me get this put back together and we'll get into the front side of the transport and do the pinch rollers. Okay, so there it is. All belts have been done, and the FRSP 8.97 is riding nicely on the capstans. And while I'm at it, I want to make sure you guys are aware that the capstan belt on this particular transport is very critical for proper operation of this particular deck. It's very, very sensitive to capstan belt quality, and you have to have exactly the right one, otherwise it just will not work properly. Reason why this is the case is because the two capstan motors are not just responsible for moving the tape through the transport, they're also responsible for keeping proper inter-capstan belt tension. And if it's wrong, then you get problems. Let's just put it that way. I don't know if it would eat a tape like that, but it certainly sounded like it wanted to a couple times. But yes, I think the FRSP 8.97 is the only belt I would use in this transport. This goes for the GX-R88 and 99 because it's the same transport. So if you've got one of these, try to get yourself an FRSP 8.97. I think it's the only belt on the planet that will work in 2025, but that's the way it is. This belt cannot be stretched. It cannot be slippery or anything like that. It has to be in great shape, and I'm hoping that the 8.97 that I've just put in there will work for it. We'll find out later. But yeah, the old belt has gone smooth again. It's not really that great. I knew the rubber renew probably wouldn't work, and it definitely did not work because we had high wow and flutter, so hopefully that's cured now. But like I said before, or maybe I didn't say it before, the pinch roller pressure is also playing a part in that as well. So it is time to get into the pinch rollers here, and this is how we're going to figure out whether or not the new mode belt is going to work, because we need to engage the pinch rollers in order to take stock of the height of the guides here before I go ahead and start taking them off. And I just noticed something. This is broken right up here. And I don't think I can fix that because this plate has to move up and down, so yes, that's fun. Oh, I forgot to reconnect this spring over here. Let me do that too real quick. Okay, so it occurred to me I should probably do this idler before we get into the pinch rollers, so I'm going to replace the Chinese idler with a hopefully better one now, and we'll see what we get out of this. I'm going to use the one I bought from turntableneedles.com, and we'll see if it's a match. This is a PRB STC.591, and it says ×2, but I already used one on another deck, so I only got the one now. So just comparing, it is the same size, good, as the Chinese idler, so it should work. Let me just get this on, and maybe we can start with some pinch roller action. It's going to be fun to get this on without taking the wheel off again, but that's the way I'm planning to do this. And it went right on, no problems. Just going around to make sure it's fully seated. And it does appear to be. So hopefully this will lead to better wow and flutter results than the cheap Chinese one I've got here. So I'll just put this back on, and then we can get started with the pinch rollers. And now we'll go down like so. And this is right about when we're going to figure out whether or not the new mode belt's going to work. I'm sure it will, but we will just make sure, because we need to get the alignment gauge on here anyway before we do pinch roller stuff. Okay, now what I need to do is I need to get my bench power supply over here, and we're just going to run the transport with the bench power supply, or rather the mode motor, and we'll see if it goes through the full range of motion. I'll go 4 volts. I'm going to grab these wires here, which are to the mode motor, and we'll see what happens. All right, it's fully loaded. Let's go the other way. Looks like no problems there. So we'll leave it in the loaded position right now. I'll just get my checker bar here. Try and see if I can do this in a way that you can see what I'm doing here. Now I got to get my glasses off because otherwise I will not see this very well. All right, let's check the guide height. Try the erase heads first. No problem there. And this one's difficult. I've already done this in the past, but doesn't hurt to do it again. And that guide is good. Now we'll check the currently engaged guide height. And it is good. I don't know if you can see it, but it is lined up. Now the other side is not engaged, so I don't know how accurate this is going to be for this. But it looks like it's in alignment as well, so I'm going to not worry about it for now, and I will set these guide heights later. I may have to engage the auto reverse on my own manually in order to line those up properly. And now maybe we can do pinch roller action. I just noticed I didn't get it into the eject position, but maybe that's okay. So I'll put my gauge up out of the way because I'm going to need it again. Now, the fun part. And by fun, I mean not fun at all, probably. I have noticed that these are locking washers on here, or locking nuts on here. They've got a little nylon insert that sort of bites onto the threads and keeps you from, or keeps them from backing out. And there is paint lock. So I am going to do something possibly controversial. I am not going to use acetone to release the paint lock. I'm just going to try to do it manually. I think that's the only way I can do this. So we'll get this side first, I guess. Maybe if you can see what I'm doing, that would be good. Let's see, can we do it this way? Yes, I think we can. I will get a nut driver out. Let's see, 4.5, no. 5.0, no. 5.5, absolutely. And we're going to gently work it back and forth to release the paint lock, and then continue unscrewing the nut here. And I don't know where this spring came from, but it was on the floor from somewhere. Anyhow, let's do this one pinch roller, and then I'll worry about the other one later. Oh, that is having no trouble releasing. Locking nuts, I like them, I find. Okay, that's off. There's definitely paint lock on there, but I'm not going to worry about that either. Okay, what else we got here? We got a washer, I think. Let me see if I can get the arm off now. Oh yeah. And yes, there is a washer that goes between the arm and the nut. And cleaning this up is going to be easy. But it looks like this spring here just kind of goes like this, flopping around kind of loose-like. I don't know if that's on purpose or not. I don't think there's anything that engages on this side of the arm. Oh yeah, that's the way it is on this side. So at least we have a cheat sheet here to reference. So I'm going to clean up the shaft here. And yes, this grease does need to be redone. So I'm glad I'm doing this. Very glad I'm doing this. Let's see, do I want to pull the spring? Yes, I do. Just clean, 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 and more clean. Brand new moly coat will be going on. And the deck will be very happy for it, I think. Should have really done this during the main transport service, but what are you going to do? I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it now. Should really be doing this with acetone, I think, but that's easy enough to do. I've got it right here. Acetone gets off this old grease a little better than isoalcohol does. And that should be nice and clean now. I might go over the shaft one more time just with the acetone just to make sure. I don't think there's a problem here, but might as well. And while I'm at it, this is where the roller engages, or where the arm engages, so I'll just wipe that down and I'll just put new grease on that area as well. We're in here, might as well do it. I know that's too much moly coat. If I can just get some of it where I want it, then it doesn't matter too much. Of course, it'd be easier if I just wipe some of it off as well. So that should be good. I'll put the spring back on in a second, I guess. A little more moly coat on this shaft. I don't know about more because I never put any on yet. Probably working on this too early in the day again. Want some nice, slick, slippery grease in there. And not on the threads. Okay, spring goes back on. Q-tip wipes off excess grease. And now it is time to do the pinch roller. Wish me luck on this, because I don't like my chances of not losing pieces here. Oh, and by the way, I super glued these springs on, so they're not going anywhere now. I don't think there's any issues with the pivots here. They seem to be moving freely. So I think I will be leaving these alone. Just showing the camera how the gear engagement goes on this, just for future reference, in case you or I or somebody else needs it. But I should mention that I have done some checking in various Akai service manuals. And this roller, this particular one, on this side of the transport, is the exact same part number as the same one on the same side of the transport in the GX-C9100. So that's how I know these pinch rollers are 2mm diameter shafts. So that means I've got the pinch rollers I need for this. And let me just try to get my thumbnail to release this washer without losing the spring. Ooh, I just barely did it. Will that washer go back on? I don't know, but there's your teeny tiny little spring, so don't lose that. And we'll have to line up the gears again. That's why I was showing the camera. And here's the roller right here. Hard and glazed, so it's good to replace. 11 millimeters, 8 millimeters, and the shaft is 1.8, so 2 millimeters. So I need an 11 millimeter roller, and I've got it all set out right here. Brand new ones from Fix Your Audio. Here's the 11 millimeter. And the other side uses 10 millimeter, and I have that too. Yes, indeed, I got it right back where it's supposed to go. So, see if we can get this teeny tiny little washer to go back on. Despite the fact there's this spring that has to go on over top of it, I will use my finger to try and press it on. Which is not working, so I'll use my thumb. Ah, we got her did. Look at that. There we be. One brand new pinch roller. And all I got to do now is install it. So I'm just going to put a little dab of Molly coat on this end of the roller as well. Just to make sure it's got enough grease to hold up over time. Okay, now see if I can get this back in the transport while still showing you what I'm doing. Okay, beautiful. So I'm going to need a little bit more Molly coat. See if I can just hold this down here. I'm going to put a little Molly coat just around the edge to lubricate the washer. Just pick up yonder washer with my finger. And stick her on there, and on goes the nut. There we go. It's all set except for adjustment. Now we got to do the other side. All right then, this side's going to be the tricky one because this is the side that is engaged. I will try to show you how this is. If you look down in there, the little half gear on what I'm pointing to right there is on this side of the little rod in there, or the little sliding doohickey. That's the technical term for it, is a doohickey. So let's see if I can arrange this so you can see this one. Come down here with it. I'll just do the same thing over here. Oh yeah, this is coming off no problem. Just like the other side. And this side seems like it's in better shape for grease as well. Again, there was another washer. It was stuck to my finger there, but it's there. Okay, maybe this side isn't as good for grease. This side is trapped in there because of wiring. Just great. Oh, that's going to be a pain in the butt to deal with. Let's see, I have to deal with this circuit board here, it looks like. Let me figure out the best way to deal with this, and we'll see what I can do here. Okay, the solution is to just disconnect this side panel for the door mechanism. I didn't want to do that, but we're going to have to. I'm going to try not to flex this ribbon cable too much, otherwise it's going to break, and that is a real bad day for us. But thankfully, we can get this pinch roller off now. And if I can find tweezers, I'll even get the spring off that goes with it. And I'm going to have to leave this sitting up like this, so you guys aren't going to be able to watch me work on that one, but or rather reinstall it. But you can watch me do this part again, if and you like. So we got another one of these washers here to deal with. I will use my thumbnail again. Came right off. Grab the little teeny tiny spring. And now we can swap another pinch roller. Okay, and I'll measure this one too. Might as well. Okay, width is 7.7. Let's just call it 8. 9.3 millimeters, so it's going to be a 10 mil. And the shaft is going to be the same thing. Yep, that's what I thought. 10 by 8 by 2. And it just so happens I got two brand new ones right here from Fix Your Audio. And just to prevent any, or just to remove any doubt that this is going to work, I will measure this one as well. It won't be quite 10 millimeters, but it'll be close enough. See, 9.6, 9.7. A little bit bigger than the old one, but not enough to make any difference to the functionality, I don't think. So let me get this installed, and I'll report back once I've got everything back together. Okay, folks, just like that, we have successfully changed the pinch rollers on an Akai GX-R88. I didn't think it was going to be as easy as it was, but I'm glad it was easy, because nothing else about this deck has been easy. So let's get the power supply back over here. And we have to line up the tape guides now. And pinch roller height. Drop the guide in place here. Engage power supply, and we'll see if we can find the right polarity on this. Nope, that's eject. Okay, we have successful engagement. And now I can adjust. Let me see. This is going to be difficult, as always. I have to do this in a way I can see. I'm sorry if I can't show you exactly the alignment procedure here, because too far out. I can immediately tell that. Just bring her down. Right about there should do it. Pull the roller back slightly just to make sure. Maybe just a little bit inwards. And that should do for that side. Now the other side is going to be the fun part, because I need to engage the auto reverse for that. But before that, let's take us some nice green nail polish, and we'll lock this down. I'm not worried about having to adjust this later. It's just I want to make sure it's locked down. Reason being, the way we're going to adjust this later is by changing azimuth. So I don't think it matters if this is off like maybe an 1/8 of a turn. So I'm going to let that dry and do another coat. And yes, then we'll do the other side. At least I think I'll do the other side off camera. How about that? I'm going to do it that way. Okay, so I think I've got everything in alignment here, and I am happy to report that I actually ended up using the real motor to engage the auto reverse, and it is working with the new belt, at least from what I can tell. Remains to be seen if it'll work inside the deck, but it's working out here on the tabletop right now. And I want to caution you guys, if you're doing this for yourself, do not have one of these alignment gauges in the deck while you're trying to auto-reverse it, because the heads will hit the alignment gauge. So pull the gauge out first, do the auto-reverse, and then, you know, put the gauge back in and re-engage the heads. That's basically what I did here. So I'm kind of pleased with myself. I didn't think this would go so easy, but I shouldn't say that, because you know what's going to happen, right? I'm going to get it back in the deck and something else will be broken on it. But yes, I think I got it working now, or I think I got it set up now, so we'll see if it's working. Let me get all this back together. I'm still waiting on this to dry over here to put its second coat of nail polish on. And I'll be able to put this back together and get it back in the deck, and maybe things will be working better now. Maybe pigs will fly. Maybe I'll win $1 million in the lottery tomorrow. Okay, folks, are we ready to see if this thing works? It's kind of early in the morning for me, doing this on another day, but whatever. I have to see if this thing works. Now, I may have to go back in here and realign the cam gear, but I think it should probably work well enough that we can at least see if it's functioning properly now. So let's power on. No signs of any stuttering, but it was already kind of working that well before, so let's see if we can get that cutout tape threaded properly this time. I want to see if there's any tape path issues. Okay, is it threaded? It is threaded, apparently. So we need to check for tape curl around the guides. Possibly I shouldn't have locked down my adjustment screws just yet, but I don't know, maybe I'm a little overconfident in the abilities of that alignment gauge, but it should work. Should, but does not. It's still doing that chattering thing. Why? That should be fixed now, and it had trouble reversing. The good news is I don't see any tape path issues. It's just this thing's not cooperating. Oh, wait. Well, now it's working again. Okay, what the heck is going on with that? That is very strange, but it appears that we are going to have to go slightly tighter with the reel drive belt. I do have one that is tighter. I've got a spare one from the Sony TC-K666ES. I hear squealing. What's going on with that? What is that? Yeah, I knew that was going to eat the tape if I tried it. I was just trying to pull a loop down so I could see the inner capstan tension. Yeah, it's kind of struggling with that belt. It should be pulling the slack out, and it doesn't seem to be. Strange. But like I said, it could be alignment issues as well, but I just don't know why it's chattering like that on this side. Huh. But at least we have no tape path issues. Let's get an audio tape in there. And we'll see how it behaves with that. It is playing. I just don't know about the inner capstan belt tension. And I'm hearing no squealing on this tape. So it could be the pinch roller pressure is not quite right yet. That would be my guess. But I just don't know about this. So what I know for sure is I have to get back in there and change this reel belt out for the same belt that I used in the 222, and that should get that working. Let's see if it records. That's the big thing I want to check right now. So I'll see if it records. I'll get back in there and change that belt again. I don't want to, but that's why I only put 2 screws in. So let us fire this up here. I want to fire a signal into it. We'll go over to the signal generator and start that up. If I can just get into my test tape here, pull the slack out of it first. Okay, source. We'll go 1 bar into the red. Let's do that. Okay, how do I get to record? I gotta look at the front panel of this thing just to figure this out. Okay, record pause is here. It completed the tuning. So let's go for record. Okay, it's on tape. Oh, we got both channels. Look at this. Levels are off, but we fixed the recording amplifier. But one thing I should mention is this dual op amp here for the bias circuitry, that has been changed. I couldn't find any other problems in that circuit whatsoever, so I'm very pleased. It is at least recording now, so on both channels. So we got that working, so I just need to finish figuring out what's going on with the transport. And I just don't know what to look for with that reel motor stuttering like that. It should be working now because I fixed the problem back there. Okay, I did a few more tests off camera, and it appears that my new auto reverse belt is too tight now. So the tighter one for the Sony 222 is not going to work any better. It's going to work worse than this. So I think I'm going to put my 1.2 millimeter belt back in there because it did work better than this one. I gotta buy another new belt for this thing. So 22.5 millimeter diameter didn't work, so I guess I would have to do the next size up from there. I don't know if I'll do that or not now, because I'm sick of buying belts for this thing. But oh, you know what we haven't done yet is check the wow and flutter to see if the capstan motors are working better. Let's do that real quick. Okay, let's check the wow and flutter, shall we? This will reveal any other... or rather, this will help reveal any problems with the pinch roller pressure as well. Remember, these Akai decks are real sensitive to that, so let's see what we get. I've got the DD99's test tape in there, so let's see what we get. Wow and flutter is better. than it was. It's still higher than I would like to see it. We'll check out the resonances here. We got 60 hertz and, or 6 hertz and 1.5 hertz. That would probably tell me that it's capstan belt related or capstan flywheel related, or it's kind of drifting down a bit in speed as well. Let's see if it'll reverse. Other direction. I think we've got some pinch roller pressure issues here. And hopefully I can now adjust the deck to behave better with the cam gear and stuff. Let's see, should I do that now or should I wait until I've got the other real drive belt back in there? I should put the other real drive belt back in, I think. Let me do that. Okay, so I actually found a 1.5 millimeter square belt that is slightly looser than the one I had on there from Deck Tech. So I'm going to try this one, possibly at my own peril. But one thing I wanted to mention was I think there's actually an adjustment for the reel motor on this thing. It's underneath the power supply board there, so I'm going to have to look into that. If the reel motor is having problems, there's no fixing it from here because I've got the pulley epoxied on, but I don't think the reel motor is the problem with that. So I'll have to see what I can figure out with that. But I'm going to try the slightly looser 1.5 mil belt, and we'll see if this works. This is the half internal circumference, about 35.2, so 70 millimeters. And the Deck Tech one, I'm gonna have to do it this way, I think. Well, maybe that's not quite so accurate. It's 33.5 if I relax it here. And this one is 35.5 if I relax it here. So 70 millimeters. I'll try it. It was working with the Deck Tech belt, so, but just barely. So I'm going to overlay these two. You can see that the new one I found is looser. So I'm going to try that. If it doesn't work, I guess I'll have to get back into it yet again, but we're getting there with this deck. It's just irritating, very irritating. But that's Akai for you. They get to be troublesome. So let me get this belt in, this one, and we'll see if it works any better. Okay, let's see if it likes this belt any better. Let's power it on first, and plug it in first, and do all that other stuff that we need to do. Okay, now before I do this, I looked through the service manual and I could not find a way to adjust the reel motor. I think I might know how it's done, but this deck has me second-guessing myself so often that I think I'm just going to wait and see what the comments say after this video goes live. Very likely I'm looking at a part 5 on this dang thing, but whatever it takes. I'm starting to get a clear picture on why so many techs give up on this transport and this deck and the 99. A lot of them say never again with this kind of thing, but I'm kind of enjoying the challenge sometimes. But let's see if this auto reverse belt works now, or the reel belt. Nope, it's still not. Oh, unbe-frickin-leavable. I'm putting that 1.2 back in there. I can't stand this crap anymore, but at least the reel drive is working right now. Okay, it has no trouble in the reverse direction. It's just the forward direction it has problems. So I'm going back in with that 1.2 millimeter, the one that's way too tight. So it seems like it likes that better than the 1.5s I'm trying. So Yes, that's that. At least we got the record amplifier working. By the way, that probably all has to be realigned now. If I can ever get it to the point where I can get this thing playing properly again, but I know I think I can. I think I know I can. I know I think I can. But the 1.2 should bring the auto reverse back in working order. And as for whether or not the adjustment's going to be possible for the pinch roller pressure, I'm not at that point yet. Let's find out what we can do for that yet. Okay, folks, so I just got done putting things back together and doing the this adjustment procedure yet again. I've done it twice now today, and I think I've got it working about as well as it can. It is still chattering. I don't know what to do about that anymore because I don't want to go too much looser on that belt. But I'm really starting to think that this is better off as a parts deck. It's just too far gone, I think. But I will keep trying. If anybody has any ideas, just let me know. But the first time I tried to do the adjustment on this thing, the cam position adjustment, it got to the point where it wouldn't even play. After I got done, I aligned the marks as indicated in the service manual, and it didn't even play. It tried, and then it auto-reversed, and then it went into fast rewind or something like that. I don't know. But I adjusted it some more. Turned out I had it adjusted to the wrong marking on the cam, I think. But when I got it around where the right cam position was, that's when it started chattering again. So I'm going to go over to the laptop now. I'm going to do this off camera, by the way. I'm going to try and get the wow and flutter into a good position yet and try to get this where it's engaging properly and try to get the pinch roller pressure engaged properly. But it is still having a little bit of trouble with auto reverse on the 1.2 millimeter belt I had in there. But I'm thinking the cure for that is to fully split the transport and completely re-grease everything. So I don't know. This thing's high hours. I'm very sure of that now. So but at least the real motor is doing better now. I don't know what was going on there. I have not touched the adjustment underneath the power supply board yet, but at least we got the recording working on this deck again. So that's something at least. So probably heading for a part 5 on this, but I've done about as much as I can do for this video. I've got no more time for this. I'm going away to the mountains again in just over a week from now, so I just don't have time to mess with this anymore. I got to get 2 more videos done, if I can. Okay, folks, this is the best I can get it. This is side A and side B. Literally the best numbers I can get out of this deck. I don't know. Okay, folks, so there it is. Best I can do for it for right now. I'm going to show you how well it's working in a second at the present time, but I really do feel like the pinch roller pressure is insufficient on this. I think that's what's going on. It explains everything almost. How the wow and flutter can still be so high on this unit after brand new FRSP 8.97 and brand new pinch rollers. I just don't think the pinch roller engagement is proper yet, and I cannot get it there with the cam adjustment alone. So I have a couple of, well actually 3 force gauges coming. 2 that are cheap spring-loaded ones and 1 digital one. They're coming in from China. We'll get back into this at that time once they get here and see if we can figure out a way to get the pinch rollers back in properly again. But for now, this is probably going to be the end of this video at least. I'm not going to run this deck until the pinch roller engagement is proper on it. It's going to eat tapes if I don't watch it. So anyhow, oh, I should mention that the azimuth has been dialed in. I just did it by ear on this one or on this occasion because, well, no sense putting in any more work in when I've got really no time to do so. But I'll show you how well it's working now. It sounds fantastic, I'll give it that, but as high hours as this is, it may not get much better than this. I'll just warn you that right now. So I may be after a second one of these. It just depends on what I can find in Japan. And yeah, if I get one from Japan, I can just use parts from this to fix that one up. So that will work fine that way. I don't care if it's black or silver. I've got silver right here. I can turn it into a silver one if I get a black one. So anyway, I'm done for the day. So I'll see you in the next video. Take care.